can't claim it. Cause they left him no platforms to explain it. He frustrated, so he get faded. But deep down inside, he know you can't fade him. How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity mean preparation? I need some real nigga reparations. Or I run up in your bank just for recreation. Dedication, hard work, plus patience. To some more of my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. Dedication.
Dedication.
DJ Noise.
I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP, but ain't dropped. Chirp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they broke on me.
Special interview today. Man, I am hype. I'm hype. I got my MOB shirt on. Mine on Billions. It's going down. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the whole way. Hustle the whole way. Hustle the whole way.
That's why they follow me.
They think I know the way.
Cause I took control of things. Pulling the solo way.
And if you part of it, I make you my protege. Slossing that soldier race. Niggas don't know the days.
Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage. Take you across the tracks. Make you expose your face. Now you official now.
How's everybody feeling?
I just been cooking that note.
I'm about to drop in a few.
Think if I call it the grade.
Them people gon' call it the truth.
Ain't really trip on the credit.
Oh man, special guest coming on in 3 minutes. Guys, get ready, get your waters. You know what I mean? I got me a nice icy one. We gonna get in tune today. I don't do this shit for nothing. Mine on Billions. They say Billy is the new Millie. What they say. I don't do this shit for nothing.
Back in this bitch like I never left. Stand for some shit that you never read. Passing through stages and life through the ups and the downs like it's all just another test. Live by the rules like a fucking ref. I got respect in a
100 sets.
Too many chains need another
Chess.
Playing no games if it wasn't chess. Come from that closet you couldn't stretch. Come from that circle you couldn't touch. Heavily pressured and under stress, even though niggas ain't sure.
We made a mess.
Honest attempt playing to the left. Catch a young nigga by that trench. If there's no option, what they expect? Only thing we do for sure
is the banger set.
Fuck
The
living
only thing
risks,
we
don't take a
need.
risk.
Yo.
Fuck what they saying, I'm saying this. Don't waste your time and don't make
Chicky,
you
what's
rich.
good, baby?
So fuck 'em,
My
let's
guy
make
be
it
on
quick.
deck.
Double up, triple up, make it 6.
Oh.
Wanting so hard you can pay a bitch. Lead to
bro,
the lake,
real
if they
one.
wanna fish, make sure them niggas around you stick to the script. It should be written in stone. You should come visit my zone. Don't take my word, double check all of my flows. Ask them out, hustle
Got on.
but fuck what you heard. It's for who walk down that road.
Mary. Make sure y'all check out our last interview with Mary on there, man. I'm telling you, man, we bought the vibes, man. We definitely bought the vibes. I don't do this shit for nothing. Big Chance, how do I let you in, big bro? I'm here. I don't see. Okay, I see you.
I remember feeling like a Step child, nigga. I would hate
Yo,
Big.
can you hear me?
Champ. I can hear you. How's
My God,
everything,
what's
family?
good? I'm good, and you?
Oh man, phenomenal, man. It's a phenomenal day. You see I got the mind on billions.
And
Now
I
I
see you,
mean,
I see you, I see you, I see you. You
just
outside,
to,
you with it.
yes, man, just to show you how much respect I got for what you got going on, and we definitely copped out at the Miami event. I think it was the Summers Summit
The
event.
Leadership Summit. Leadership
Yes,
Summit.
sir. That's
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
seen
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
in action, man. I seen y'all in action.
I
Um,
appreciate you.
Yes, sir, family. Let me introduce Champs, right? For everybody that's on this call, and if y'all don't know him, right? This guy is a leader, right? Because from where we stand in our business, he's a chairman, right? And when you go chairman, you manage a bunch of customers under you. I don't know how that may sound to you guys, but he took entrepreneurship and owned it. You understand what I'm saying? Um, Champs, let them know a little bit about yourself. Let them know where you come from, and even where you got the name from, because that name is dope, man. Champs, you know what I mean?
All right, bet. So, first thing first, I say this. What I do is bigger than just Mind on Billions or just that leadership summit that you saw me in, right? So, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 14 years old, from cutting people grass in Georgia, where I'm from, to buying extra lawnmowers and then hiring people to cut other people's grasses, to selling stuff at school like most people do in middle school and high school, stuff like that, right? So born in Atlanta, Georgia, raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't move to New York until I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school. I came up here, visited one time, fell in love with the city and the vibe, and never went home pretty much, right? Since then, I've lived in New York now 15 years. From then, I've gotten into many things. I've worked retail from part-time employee all the way to general manager to district manager in training. I've been in finance for a few months. I was a real estate broker for the last 7, 8 years, and I'm now getting back into the finance world and private equities. And I still do trading and everything else and stuff like that on the side. And the thing I want to make it very, very clear is that entrepreneurship is not about one thing. It's about finding that passion that you have, find what you're good at, finding that gift that you have, put your passion behind your gift, and then drive full force with it. So, for me, it's teaching. I love to teach, but I would never be a teacher because, quite frankly, they just don't make enough money. So I find things that I can do to show people how to win at, and I teach those things. And I thank God that those things make me money while teaching. I can do it as a passion for free. So that's brief. Oh, and then my name, I don't know, it was given to me because I used to work at Champs. I actually hated it for a long time, and then I just learned to embrace it. So like Champs now is like Superman and who I am, which I can't tell you because can't give away your real identity. That's Clark Kent. So we stay with Champs.
Yo, bro, listen, man. I've been watching from afar. I want to get the chairman myself, and I salute you for being able to, pave the way and do things in this business that I haven't already done yet. How do you see how did you start this business? The business that you're in now?
Same way like everybody else. Not knowing anything and curious to learn more. And then from there, I don't wait for people to tell me to do things. I don't wait for permission. I'm a big believer that I'd rather ask for forgiveness than beg for permission. So when I want to learn something, I'm going to go learn it. I'm going to do everything I got to do to figure it out, to learn it, and then I'm going to run with it. I don't care how many times I fuck it up. I don't care how many times I mess up. I just fix it. Boom. I am very much ready, shoot, aim. I missed. All right. Aim, shoot again. Miss. All right. Shoot again. All right. Bullseye, bet. That's what we're going to hold it for that point forward. I try my best not to overthink things or think too long into things. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you do. I'm just saying that I don't do it. I'm very, very proactive, and I'm not a procrastinator. I don't like to procrastinate. I'm like, go with it. What's the worst that could happen? And then that's pretty much how I looked at this business. My man Joe said I know that firsthand. Yeah, so that's how I look at this opportunity. It's like, I'm sitting at home, bored as fuck. I'm in a New York City apartment, so they're not big. I can't go nowhere. I can't do nothing because this is all during quarantine. It's all during the pandemic. I'm dealing with these demons that I didn't want to deal with. So now I'm forced to get my mental health checked. So I'm doing that. And now that that's getting better, now I'm still in the house bored. And I'm like, all right, well, money is still being made around me. I need to figure out what they're doing. And then, tapped into the internet, found access, like, okay, this is what's going on. Show me the way. Thankfully, I've had great friends the entire time that I've known for a very long time, from Mr. Teacup to Nez to Tia to Manny Q. I mean, people that you guys know every day. I've known these people for the last 10 years of my life. So we've always stayed great friends. Darwin, Mr. Banks, we've always stayed good friends throughout the entire thing. So, when the time came to show up, I'm like, yo, show me what you're doing. And I didn't get any special treatment. They said, here's the platform. Here's how you do it. It's 3 steps: academy, go live, strategies. You in or you out. So, all right, bet, sign me up. And then there was no privileges, nothing special. Wasn't like I was given some secret password to get where I am. Nope. It was all 100%. You got to work. You got to grind. You got to do it the same way everybody else did. And that's a big thing, because a lot of people think that because you know all these people, it helps you, but it doesn't. And, and think about it like this. When they all were here at the bottom getting started, I was doing real estate. And they were like, yo, come do this with me. I'm here at the bottom. I'm like, nah, I'm going to focus on real estate because I'm also there at the bottom, right? And what happened is, as we went on the years, we start to grow, and we start to grow, and we start to grow. So they're doing their thing, growing, and I'm doing my thing, and we're growing. So we're growing, right? And then the pandemic comes. Boom. So now they're here. So there's no way in hell that, first off, if you think this way, you're just selfish. Let's just start there. But there's no way that I could come from here, asking up here, to come back down here, to go there with me, so I can go back with them. You see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even, like, when you put it in visual, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But a lot of times what people expect us to do is like, yeah, but you my man, yo, but you my homegirl, like you supposed to help me, but I am helping you. So I can't stop what I'm doing to come down to you.
Sure.
So they never came down to me. I just had to work that much harder to catch up to them. Right? So, it's something I always tell people, because it was nothing. It was no handouts given to me. It was not like, here's this, here's this, here's this. Like, it was grind. And if you don't put in the work, you can only accept the results that you get. Now I've had great people I worked with. I see Joey just logged on, so Joey P, one of my closest friends to this day, and him and I really got cool over the last 2 years. We knew of each other, but we never talked to each other until like the last 2 years. And now I speak to him on a daily, if not weekly basis. So those relationships are there. But if I didn't show up and did the work I need to do, he wasn't just going to pick up the phone and say, what's up? So you build your relationships, but you understand why your relationships are built. And people always like, oh, it's just for the money. It's not for money, but think about it. The people you work with, you see 90% of the time of your life. You probably see the people you work with more than you see your own partners. Right? You don't get mad at them when they don't call you about non-work related shit. So why get mad in this business when people don't hit you up about non-work related shit and you haven't developed that actual relationship?
Oh my God. Hold on. Yo, the sauce is gonna come so much. If y'all hear that, and all of the important stuff is in the details, guys. Like you'll miss one word. Don't miss one word. Don't miss one word. How important was that, Champs, for you to say, hey, I'm gonna step out of my comfort zone to ask my friend for help? Because, most people, they look at it, they like, I don't want to ask anybody. I can do it all on my own.
Oh no, it wasn't my comfort zone. I was uncomfortable. So I was lucky. I was stuck. I'm a what they call quarantine baby, right? I started when we were stuck at home. And my friends reached out to me and was like, yo, and I was like, nope, not looking. No, thank you. Don't even want to see it. Nope. But I'm still stuck at home. And I'm doing what everybody else is doing, stuck at home. Watching TV, probably smoking hookah, because I do that. If you don't, sorry. And looking on Instagram, right? And as I'm looking on Instagram, Florida's open. Where'd all my friends move to? Florida. What do I see them doing? Smiling. Literally. I'm not even going to give you the details of what they were doing, because the one thing that stood out to me the most is they were smiling. I wasn't smiling. They were smiling. In every picture they took, in every video they had, they were smiling. It didn't matter what they could have been eating glizzies. They were still smiling. Pause. But they were smiling. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't happy. I'm stuck in the house. It's me and my dog. I'm stuck. I have no one to talk to. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking to the dog. He just turns his head and looks at me and just tries to like lick me or some shit. Like, they smiled enough. I'm like, yo, I'm sick and tired of not smiling. I just want to smile in life again. Put me on, please. So
Yes.
it wasn't uncomfortable because I was already uncomfortable. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? The details of what they were doing really didn't matter to me. Because it wasn't about the glitz or the glamour. It was literally, they were smiling and they got to be human. While I was stuck in New York being quarantined.
Oh man, beast mode, beast mode. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Well, I already said hookah. So outside of that, reading, I'm getting back into working out. It's just way too cold to go outside and work out. So I've been getting better at doing it in my house in the mornings when I get up. Yeah, reading, traveling, spend time with my daughter. Hookah. I do millennial shit. Like, there's nothing, like, like, I'm not learning a new language. I'm not trying to play the acoustic guitar. I don't take walks in the park. Like, I do millennial everyday things, you know? Like, if I can go out and party, trust me, I'll be outside partying. But no matter what I'm doing, even when I'm out of work, I'm always working. I'm always networking. I'm always want to meet new people, because one thing I learned in real estate is that you really don't know what's going to happen in your life until you network and meet more people. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable and putting yourself out there. You know, I hear a lot, and I know it's off subject, but I think this is important. I always hear a lot of people tell me recently, like, yo, Champs, I know you can do this, or if anybody could do it, you can. And I want to say this because a lot of people don't know this. I used to talk to myself, and I didn't talk to myself because I was crazy. I talked to myself because I didn't have no one else to talk to. I was that introverted. I was that much to myself. I suffered from self-esteem issues, self-care issues, like issues. I stuttered. I had speech impediments. You know what I mean? Like, I was not this put together version that you see right now today. This took time to create. This took time to build. And I say that because people think like, oh, he's polished, he's good. Yeah, but in order to be polished, you have to polish. You have to start shining, right? You have to put the work in. You know, I had to stare in the mirror every day and lie to myself until I started to get comfortable with the words I was saying, until I started to believe in the words I was saying. So when I looked in the mirror, I didn't have to say it no more. I was like, you already know. You get what I'm saying? I had to let people's beliefs of me from the outside, the positive beliefs, sink into my head. Like, yo, if they see this in you, why can't you see this in you? You know? So when people look at me and they're like, yo, he's put together, or he's polished, or he's this and the third, you know, it's just far bigger than reading a book, far bigger than, you know, being told the right thing from the guru. This is all started here. This starts with you. This is true personal development, because the key to personal development is the person develops, and you have to be that person to develop. You know what I'm saying? So like, I do make that a big issue anytime I go on live or anytime I do any of these calls, because it's very easy to look at the end product, but not see the beginning, right? It's very easy to see the cake, but not realize it took eggs, flour, baking soda, oil, and everything else. And that shit was packaged up in different spaces. It had to be brought together, had to be broken, had to be blended together, and then put in the oven, cooked, and then came out as something different. Right? It takes time to build that stuff. And don't look at yourself as like, I could never do what that person did, because I was that individual saying that, and I'm no longer that individual saying that. You know, nothing makes me different from anybody else, except I no longer want to feel sad for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. I just didn't want to feel bad for myself. With a daughter, I couldn't tell my daughter, like, it's okay to fail at life because no one wants to talk to you, when you stood in the corner and you kept your back towards everyone so no one could talk to you.
Champs, man, you a blessing, man. And I say that for real, humbly, from my heart, because it's people on here that possibly, you know, could be going through the same thing or went through the same thing. I know, you know, being as smiley and all that as I am now, it took some personal development, because I hit a wall where it was like, oh man, you know, life got crazy. Yeah, man, that's deep, bro. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah,
For real. Being transparent, man.
I just gotta be out there. I'm very big on mental health awareness. If anyone knows me, they know. Like, that's the one thing, you know, I feel that the minority community needs more of, is more advocates, more people talking about mental health, more people talking about stuff like this. You know, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. And I want to make this clear. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be personally developed. You know, your top CEOs, your managers, these people have some level of personal development, whether they realize it or not. You know, you don't have to want to be a millionaire to believe in yourself. Everybody's version of success is different. Some people dream of success with a picket white fence, 2 cars, a flat screen TV on the wall, an open concept house, and kids running around. Great. Some people view it as just solitude, somewhere in the woods in a cabin, reading a book. Perfect. But no matter what it is, never downgrade your dreams to match your reality. Upgrade your faith to get to the dreams.
Yo, bro.
I got that from Google.
Bro.
I promise you can find that same quote on Google. I got it from Google. I promise you.
It's not even about that, bro. It's just the timing. It's right on time. It's right on time. And most of the stuff that you read and stuff, you know, they'll give you the same stuff in these books. You know, some of the books they'll give you, not all of them, but some of them will give you the same stuff. And that's God speaking. Positivity is one way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's God speaking through you at that moment. You know what I mean? At this moment right now, helping somebody else. It's helping me by listening. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Tell us about your relationship to literature, with literature, like, you know.
So I read. I always try to go every year to read like 1 book a month. It never really happens. But when I get invested in something, I get invested in something. Case in point, earlier this year, I was going to get into like insurance sales and stuff like that, right? So I started studying for the insurance license. It took me maybe 2 weeks to pass the test. Perfect. Then I'm like, well, cool. I could also do like securities, stuff like that. So I started studying for like the different finance tests. And if you don't know anything about finance tests, they always call finance tests security license, right? And it's not like being a security guard. Equities, bonds are called securities in the world around us, not even the finance world, in the world around us. So this particular test is the single-handedly probably the hardest test in the world. Like they brag that they have a 33% passing rate. So, you know, I spend all my time diving and digging and learning. And while it's not literature, I'm learning. You get what I'm saying? And so I always tell people like, personal development is great, but you have to read what makes sense to you. I personally don't read books on drama or fantasy or things of that nature because I don't even watch TV shows about sci-fi. So it would never work for me. And when I do read books, I do tend to like to read books that show me how to make my life better or how to do more, or how to have more, or how to increase a skill set. And if I'm unable to read the book, I don't listen to audios, but you could. I also don't read books that I can't physically touch because I have ADD. So if I'm reading it on like my phone, I've already missed everything it said. If I'm hearing it in my ear, I've tuned out a long time ago. So the only way I pay attention is by reading the book because I could constantly touch the whatever this shit is called, the covers. I can touch the cover, which keeps me focused. Like people that use the fidget spinners and stuff, they stay focused. That's how I keep my ADD under control. So, but I mean, I guess I read. Like I'm currently reading the 5 a.m. Club that I was recommended by Nano. I just finished reading Hustle Smart, Hustle Harder by 50 Cent for the second time because that's one of my favorite books right now. I ordered the Rick Ross book, so that should be in sometime tomorrow's Friday. So not Friday, Monday it'll be here. So, you know, I like to read things that I can relate to. You know, I'm not a big fan of reading it because they said it's a good book. You know, I'm not a big fan of reading it because that's the guru. If I can't relate to that person, doesn't matter how guru they are. It's just money I wasted on a book.
That was real straightforward, bro. That was real though. You know what I mean? It puts people at least to think like which category they want. What book changed things for you and switched your way of thinking?
Yo, it's so funny. It's because it's probably the most cliche answer in the world. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'll never forget 2014, I was working in Harlem. I was running a store in Harlem. At the time, I think it was probably the youngest GM in the state for that company at the time. And I just got involved in this whole shit. And there's like, you gotta read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'll never forget, I woke up a Saturday, I opened a book, and I'm reading it. I had to be at work at 12, and it's like 11:45. I'm like, shit, this book is good. And I took an Uber to work, and I'm reading it in the Uber. Get there, clocked in, thank God I'm general manager, and they got rid of me now so I can tell all the truth. I was outside the store, because the store's a street store. I was outside the store, sitting on the thing, reading the book, letting the store run itself. Just reading the book, just reading this book. I only stopped to talk to people when they had a problem, give codes when I needed to, or I count out the cash register when it was closed. Just reading this book. Got home, reading the book. I finished that book in one day, but that book was so great to me because it wasn't about just the message in the book. It was about the things he was saying that was making you want to realize more things and go learn more things. Like he put me onto the 16% solution that talked about tax deeds and tax liens. He put me onto all these different things from hotel businesses to real estate, outside of like these simple house real estate, like big deals, apartment deals, syndication, stuff like that. And I'm like, nah, this is it. So that was be the one book. I'm lying. The first book was The Secret. I'm lying. The first book was The Secret. That was the first personal development book I ever got. That book just springboarded me into reading more books, but The Secret was the first personal development book I got. And oddly enough, I got as a baby shower gift from one of my stock members back when I was like 20 years old. And it's teaching about the law of attraction. And I'll never forget, I saw it work right in front of my eyes. And I won't repeat the story because it wasn't a pretty story. But that's when I was like, okay, now this works. And I remember this story, I'll tell you, this when I was like, this works. I was running the store in Jersey, and I was like, yo, I want to run Garden State Mall. I'm going to run this Garden State Mall store. Somehow or another, this is the store I'm going to run. My RVP calls me, said, hey, we want you to take a store. I'm like, bet, where? I'm like, this is it. He's like, Maryland. I'm like, Maryland? The fuck's in Maryland? All right. Let me see. So I was like, you know what? It's a challenge. They sold me very well on it because no matter how great of a salesman I am, I'm an easy person to sell to.
Yes, sir.
So they sold me on the idea. So I went and drove to Maryland with my fiance at the time, my child's mother today. And it was like, you know what? We're going to do this. Let's do it. Right? I pretty much told her she was not even with it. But I was like, the apartment was nice. The store was like, okay, let's do it. But still in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to run this store. The store has a current manager in place, everything. I'm going to run this store. Don't know how, running this store. So negotiated money, got to an agreement. The next week, I'm checking out to leave. I'm like, I'm going to run this store. Don't know how, but I'm still not giving up. Like, I'm running this store. And that's all I kept saying. Like, I'm going to run this store. This store's going to be mine. I'm going to be the general manager of this store. The day of my checkout audit, because in retail, you have to have audits in and audits out of the store. So you measure shrink before you get there and when you leave to make sure you did a good job and you wasn't stealing from them, right? The day of my checkout audit, the manager at Garden State resigned. The very next day, my current DM, because she's still my current DM, although I checked out and was supposed to go into Maryland now, so hey, stop and have breakfast for me before you go. Let's talk. So okay. And he resigns that night, doesn't say anything to me, doesn't say anything to anybody. Tells her, she calls me the next day. It's like, let's get breakfast before you go. I'm like, all right, cool. Of all places, we're in Garden State, which made sense because it was on the way to Maryland. And she's like, well, this guy resigned. What do you want to do? You could stay here, you could go there. And I said, I knew I was going to have this store. So that's when I was like, the law of attraction works. Like, this shit works. Don't get twisted. I worked to get to the position where they had to offer it to me, but it does work. If you really put it out there and you see it with everything possible, you have a burning desire for it, it really works. So the Secret was the first book that changed it, but Rich Dad Poor Dad was the book that made me consume more books.
I think it was your thoughts, big bro. I think what you was thinking pulled you towards it, and you did everything that you had to do to obtain that. And that's what happened. It seemed from getting from this story. That's crazy.
I mean, listen, there's some things you can't control and some things you can't control. I can't control existing people. All right, let's look at the business, for example. This is a problem people have all the time. I can't control what the person on the other end of the phone says. Right? I can't control whether they say yes, whether they say no, whether they say maybe, whether they say I'm confused. There's no control I have over that. But I can control everything I do. So I'm a big believer that I'm very disciplined on the things I can do and the things I can control. I need to stay disciplined on. And the things I can't do and things that are out of my control, be patient on. right? And I think a lot of people get discouraged when they're like, oh, but this person said no, or this person doesn't want to do it, this person doesn't do that. Like, who cares? To me, that's a win. I don't want to get off the phone, and this is just business. So you can make this IM related, you can make this real estate related, you can make this whatever relation you want to make it. In business, I refuse to walk away from any transaction without getting a yes or no answer. I will not accept I'll think about it. I'll not accept I'll let you know. I will not accept maybe. I will not accept any of that. The only answer I'm accepting is 3 answers. Yes, no, or they hang up. That's it. And so, and to me, all 3 of those are wins. But I won't accept anything else. Have you ever noticed that you'll listen to someone tell you maybe? Now I'm going to keep this to IM, right? You ever notice you listen to someone tell you maybe, or like, oh, I'll let you know in a few days. And you're like, cool. And you get off and you start bragging in chat like, yo, I killed this call. They said they're going to let me know. Oh, I got, And then you start reaching out to them, and then they know where to be found. And then you keep reaching out to them, and they don't respond. And let's make it even better, because a lot of people start reaching out to their friends first. And now you just lost a friendship. It wasn't even worth losing. All because you just didn't get them to say no.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. And it is a lot of friendships that do get tarnished. Not that you want them to tarnish, but you kind of feel away. Because you feel like you giving me the runaround and you playing with me.
Yeah, and devil's advocate, in their head, you too good of a friend to say no to. So I'd rather just ignore you as long as I can until you stop bringing it up. And then they start to see you online. They see you posting about it all the time. So now you're like, damn, I can never not tell this guy now. It's better for me just walk away.
Oh, man. That's crazy, man.
I do it completely different. Like, I had someone today who was doing a call for somebody. And they're like, okay, well, you know, I just want to do my research and I'll get back to you in a few days. And in my head, I'm like, that's just not happening. So I was like, okay, so what research do you need to do? I'm right here. And she's like, well, you know, I was like, you have questions? Like, no, I don't have any more questions. I'm like, well, you clearly have questions. You say you need to do research. I've never known anyone to research something when they already had the answer. And she's like, no, I just want to think. I'm like, okay, so you're not interested in the moment. Is that what you're telling me? I can't think. You can do whatever you want. But I can also tell you that what you're saying and what I'm getting is you're not interested right now. And she hung up. But I told him that was a win. That's the win.
Yes, sir.
You know it's a no. Now you don't have to chase them. But guess what? They followed you. They're going to watch. And at some point in their life, when it gets to a point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, where it gets to a point they want to change, when it gets to a point when they see you smiling way too much like my friends were, they will come back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is the longest book you ever read?
Oh my goodness, I don't have that kind of attention span. 5 Habits of Highly Effective People. Not only was it the longest, it was the smallest font, which made it even longer. I feel longer. Yeah, that was the one.
What is the shortest book you ever read?
Go for No. And you can get that on Amazon. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you, that's a good book to read. Everybody should get it if you're listening. Go for No. It's on Amazon. It's like a fictional book, but it gives real story. It tells you why no is the answer you want to receive. And yes is the answer, but no is how you get there. Greatest book ever. Definitely want to read that book. Short, entertaining. It's probably like maybe 90 pages. Awesome book. I don't even know where it is. I will find it, but Go for No.
I'm gonna pick that right now. Go for No.
Yeah, it's like a yellow cover with like a person and like a shadow silhouette, and it says Go for No. I think the nose in like crimson or something like that. Fire book. I used to buy that book for my real estate agents when they started working for me.
What's has a book ever made you cry?
No, TV probably got a better chance. I mean, I'm a Pisces, so I'm emotional. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm an emotional human being, like everybody is. I'm not too strong to say I've never cried. I'm comfortable enough in my masculinity to say, yes, I've cried. But no, I don't think there's a book that's ever made me cry. I read personal development books. They teach you how to, you know, There's no happy ever afters. There's get shit done. So
I got this book, and it's like a prayer book. I got it. I picked it up at the airport. It's Let Go and Trust God, and I read a passage in there one time. I'm not gonna lie, that it made me cry, bro. Like,
well, now the Bibles are different, man. Like
right.
I listen to that. That's the only thing I listen to on audio is the Bible. But I haven't gotten anywhere to yet where I'm like, oh, this is sad. Right now, God's a savage for everything I'm listening to. So I'm like, oh,
Let's
don't
go.
test that man. You know what I mean? Like, don't test him. That's what I'm learning. So yeah, but when it comes to stuff like that, like, there's been times I listen to like Transformation Church or Voo Church, and I'm like, oh, that was deep. I felt that, like, yeah, but there's nothing I've read.
Bro
That
said,
was a teardrop.
it came down.
It came down. I'm sitting in my living room like, and just, it happens.
Yes. Who was the biggest influence in your career?
I get this question a lot, man. 3 people. Me, myself, and I.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not big on influences. There are people that I will say, okay, I like that, I'm taking that. Okay, I don't like that, I'm gonna leave that behind. Oh, okay, I like what you did, I'm taking it. I like what you did. But you can't be an influence to me if I'm not modeling 100% in your vision. You get what I'm saying? So I take the things I like and don't like, and I make me. I always tell people, like, the world, life, the way to succeed here is lie, cheat, and steal. But you're not doing a lie, cheat, and steal the way that is wrong. First, you lie to yourself to believe who you need to be and not who you currently are. You cheat on your self-doubts with self-esteem, and then you steal great ideas from people and you make them your own. And everybody in the world does it, and no one complains about it. You notice that no matter how many car brands we got, they all still got doors and tires, and they're all still the same doors and the same tires. No one's like, oh, he stole my door. That's my tire. So my biggest influence is me. And I don't say that from some place of arrogance, because it's a very humble person. There is no one I look up to as like, that's my hero. This isn't. My father made me better than that. And it's not a bad thing, but it's like, don't want to be like somebody, be better. So if I'm always aiming to be better, then I can only compete with myself. And that's what I learned running track, right? In track, they always tell you, like, don't look left, don't look right, because anytime you look sideways, you slow down. Just focus on this, and your only goal is to beat your best time. And if you continue to train, and you continue to train, and you continue to do what they say, eventually your best time becomes the best time of the entire event. So,
tunnel vision, man. Tunnel vision. For the last few companies you were at, take me through when you left, why did you leave? And when you joined the next one, why did you choose it?
All right, let's start. Because I'm assuming you're talking about network marketing now. Correct?
Your career.
My career was shit. All right, let's see. The first one was Stone Mountain Park. I was 16 years old. Why did I do it? I wanted the job. Why did I accept it? Because they were paying me $6.75 an hour, and all my friends were making $5.15. Mind you, this is Georgia. It's still in the early 2000s. Times have changed, right? I ended up leaving in 2006, 2007. I want to say 2006. One of those times. 2006, 2007. I ended up leaving. Why? I got fired for time stealing, and I moved to New York. In New York, when I first got to New York, I worked for UPS. It was seasonal. I literally got here, found a job within 2 days, worked till the season was up, and then I started working. Then I jumped between a bunch of jobs that I don't even remember what they were. Didn't last any very long. Then I started working at Modell's. I left Modell's to start working at, of all places, Champs. And I stayed at Champs till I became, from 2000, I don't remember, from part-time, full-time assistant, manager, general manager, district manager in training. I was terminated from that job for failure to comply with investigation. In other words, any political reason you could say without me suing you. From there, I started studying the first time to get into the finance world. I didn't realize after working in retail for so long and being stuck inside stores and malls, I want to live. So I ended up getting my license in real estate instead. I worked in real estate from 2014 to 2022. And I'm still an active licensed real estate broker. I became a broker 2018, 16, somewhere around there. I got passed the test really quickly. I actually have never left. I just wanted something different. There's a lot of things that when I came back, I didn't really like for real estate anymore. The way the city's moving to change things, because New York is way too socialist, and that's a different conversation we don't have to bring up. I was like, let me find something else. New York City, not the state, by the way. So look around, and I got into the private equity thing, and I've been doing that now all of 2 weeks, and that's my professional work, everyday life. From network marketing, I started World Ventures 2014, stayed until 2015, left because I saw it was a better thing, and I wanted to go try it out. Went to that better thing, which was Wake Up Now. It's where I met Ness. I was actually in Ness's direct lineage. I met Lou, Manny, Rico. That's all I could think of. Oh, Darwin. I met Darwin at the time and a few other people. From there, that company shut down. We went to this company called Wealth Generators. Stayed there. That's probably the company had one of the quickest successes in. Ness and I were working. We was always working together, but Ness, Lou, T, and myself working together in that business. We all left to go to Disrupt because of our feelings. Very stupid reason, the worst reason ever. But great business lesson. Stick to your logic. Don't follow your heart when it comes to business. From that point, Lou and I had a conversation. I'm sorry, Mr. Teacup and I had a conversation. I'm like, yo, bro, I really think I can do something with this real estate thing. And he was like, yo, you should just follow it and see what happens. So that's why I hung up the shoes with marketing and put everything in on real estate. And then I got back into I joined IM the first time 2018. I did absolutely nothing with it. I only signed up to support Lou. I paid every bill, never looked at the program, never signed in the back office, never checked out anything. It was all in support of my friend Lou, Mr. Teacup. But I opened my office up to his team. So his teams was able to come and use my office every Monday. They were using it for free because I was like, there's no need to go spend money in the office. You're just getting starting your business. No need to spend money when you can use my office. I'm not going to charge you for it. They built until they were able to outgrow the office. Ty guy was using the office, the maker of Taste, Jen, Nano. There's so many people that came out of the office. They moved to 4040, Pop Moore chairman there. So never paid a bill, but definitely went to the retreats and stuff like that. And got back in 2020 because, like I said, my friends were smiling and I didn't want to be in quarantine. And here we are today.
Oh, man, that's dope, bro. In 3 years, what do you hope will be different about then compared to now?
Well, I don't hope anything. It will be. No, hope is for suckers. You have to believe what you want and go get it. In 3 years, last year I learned a very valuable lesson about money. And so the lesson I learned was that it doesn't matter how good you're doing actively making money. You always want to create money to match your active money in case something happens to the active money. So an example, say you make $100,000 a year from your job or from hidden chairman, right? That's all active because you still have to work it. I know people want to think that their residual income, they can stop doing it and the money will still keep coming in. But let me tell you, stop showing up for your business and your business will stop showing up. So yes, you still need to actively work. So it's active money, right? So what I realized is that you want to go, now that you have this active money coming in, you want to take this active money and you want to go start investing in things that eventually lead up to paying you $100,000 a year, just like you have actively coming in. So God forbid anything ever happens here, this is still coming in and you didn't lose, your life didn't slow down. And notice I said that you're not doubling your income. I said you have this coming in case anything happens. So I don't want people to get it twisted like, well, if I had 100 here and 100 here, I'm making 200. Yes, you are, but this 100 is to protect you in case this 100 goes away. So while they're both coming in simultaneously, use this 100 to make more. Yes, and use this 100 to make more, but be smart and enjoy yourself. Have fun, because there's no need to make a lot of money if you're not going to spend it. You got to have fun with your money. You're going to die and you can't take the shit with you. So enjoy it while you're here, but be responsible about it. So in 3 years, that will continue to happen because that's what I'm putting in place now. It's just building, diversifying. And honestly, I don't really see me being that person who's like, I quit my job or retired or I fired my boss. I had a boss since 2013, so it doesn't really seem like something I'll do. Anything and everything I do from a 9 to 5 standpoint is 100% commission only, come and go as I please. And quite frankly, it goes back to the same thing. If network marketing pays me $10,000 a month and I can make $10,000 a month here, why would I quit? And this is a question for a lot of people, because a lot of people think they should quit their job once they're making the same amount of money. And I think that's retarded. I'm sorry to say it like that. I shouldn't say that. Actually, it's not retarded. It's not a good decision. Here's why. For the first time in your life, you just doubled your income. Don't walk away. Stay until this income doubles the income that you have. Then you can feel free to walk away. But why walk away when you got so much more money to save? God forbid something was to happen in your network marketing business, because we know we have ups and downs here. God forbid something was happening in this business, because you know you have ups and downs in the real world. At least you have it coming in somewhere else and you're not stressing. I watch too many people stress about things they shouldn't have to stress about because they put themselves in positions they didn't need to put themselves in for the worst reason of all, to look good for Instagram. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? So I definitely will say that. And then the last thing I'll say is this before I let you get back to it. And I spoke about this before, and I'm going to say it again because this is probably the most important thing. That poor acronym, passing over opportunities repeatedly, also applies to entrepreneurs too. Don't be that person that quit their job making $1,000 a month because you want to fire your boss, but now you can't afford to stay alive. But you continue to pass every opportunity repeatedly on getting a job. Get a job. It's okay. It's nothing wrong with it. No one will look down on you. I sure as hell won't. It doesn't make sense. You worry about what your friends will say? Here's exactly how my life looks if I didn't work. I wake up at 7. I trade till 9:30, 10. From 10 a.m. till 8 p.m., I have jack shit to do. Then at 8 p.m., I get to work again. There's 10 hours in my life of gap. You're right. Oh, I could go spend money. I could go travel, spend money. I could go hang out, spend money. I could take people out, spend money. Or I could work and make money. It's 10 hours. The goal is to have multiple sources of income, not have one paycheck that's paying you in 5 different ways. And by paycheck, one company paying you in 5 different ways. Because it's still one check. Multiple sources. I'm okay with saying, yes, I work. I ain't got no problem with it. If you look down upon me, that's fine. I also have investments, all right, that still pay. I work on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We have 3 restaurants opening in the city. Trust me, there's nothing you can say to make me feel bad about working. Nothing. Because every phone call you take after you tell yourself you retired, you just clocked in. Every DM you send out, every reel you put up trying to recruit more people, you're working. Yes, the only difference is I'm able to do them both. And more people listen to me because I still have this and they have a better understanding of part-time income over living off $1,000 a month. You know, funny story, and Ness knows this, so it's not like I'm hiding it from him. My first time meeting Ness, we're at a presentation. And he's like, you know, I'm at a point in my life now where I make it to, and this is younger Ness. I want to make this very clear. 10 years, 12 years Ness ago, right? So I'm at a point in my life making $2,000 a month. I'm fully retired. If you were making $2,000 a month, would you quit your job? And he raised his hand. He was ready to see everybody raise their hand. And everybody did it because I think they was like, that's the thing to do. And this is my first time meeting, and I'm staring him in the eyes in my champ's uniform like this. In my mind, I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Right? Then he went up to 5,000, and I'm still like this. Matter of fact, I think I did one of these. Then he went up to 8, because at that time it was 8, and I still stood like that. Then it went up to like 14, and I finally raised my hand. And afterwards, he was like, why did it take you so long to raise your hand? I was like, I make $8,000 a month now. If I'm a quit, I might as well double it. The fuck I look like quitting for a downgrade. And I see way too many people do it. Listen, I get it. Your friends are traveling, having the time of their life, and you don't understand what goes on in their life. But you know that you feel like you're missing out, but you're not. Your time will come. Mr. Teacup says this all the time. The spotlight will shine on you when it's time, but how long it stays on you is all dependent upon what you do in the dark. Don't rush to living that life of saying, I don't got to clock in, I don't got to do this, I don't got to do that, I don't got to do this. But when people invite you to go out, you say your stomach hurt. But it's not the stomach that really hurts. Right? Like, get a job. It's okay. Maybe having a job will, one, keep you to have respect for the working person, and two, make sure you have respect for money. Because as it's given, it can easily be taken away. So make sure you humble yourselves along the way.
Yo, that was wow sauce right there. I ain't even gonna lie, that was so much sauce right there. Damn, bro. What motivates you?
And you didn't just hear that whole story?
Money?
No. Motivates me. Money doesn't really motivate me. Money doesn't excite me. Honestly, once I made multiple six figures, I didn't realize like how amazing it is to have money, but how it was never the thing that motivated me because I wanted more of it. Does that make sense? And it wasn't the money I wanted. I just wanted more success. See, like even when I ran stores, you know, you have this goal you have to hit every single day. It was like your target, your daily target, right? And I can hit my target. I'm like, keep going. I'm like, why? We hit the target. I'm like, I don't care. I want more. Like, I just want success. Success is never ending, which means I'm always a work in progress. So my biggest motivation is to constantly become a better version of myself. And with becoming a better version of myself, there will be more success gained. So yeah, no, it's not the money. Money's not even exciting. The greatest part about money is it shows you for who you really are. I've always been a giver. I've always been a caring person. And when I have money, I realize like, yo, you can give in abundance. I mean, in an abundance. I've done some very ignorant shit with money for the greater good of all. And I've had a lot of crazy nights with money for the greater good of all. And the craziest thing is that no matter how much was being spent, no matter how much I wasn't paying attention to, it always came back the next day like a renewable resource. And I realized that money is just like soil and seeds and everything else. Like, you ever notice that a tree dies, another tree grows? Like, you ever notice that, like, if a tree dies, another tree grows because the earth is a renewable resource. The earth will always give you what you're missing. And not missing, but what's not there. So when you give in abundance, as the earth gives in abundance, it will reward you in abundance. When you are stingy, it will give you stingy. So that's why I always tell you, like, don't stress money. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's why you can't stress it, because stressing it makes you grip tighter to it and hold on to it. And I'm not saying be stupid and go throw like earnings on black at the casino. I'm saying when you're giving in abundance with no anticipation of getting it back, like, I'm not giving you $1,000. I'm like, yo, give me that back Monday. But I'm giving like, yo, here, let's go out. Everything's on me. Let's have fun. Y'all kicked ass this week. Let's go. It always has this way of showing back up to you every single time. There's not been a time I took my real estate team out that I missed the money longer than 48 hours. And what I mean by that is that it was just always right back, no matter what. Because it was never a mindset of, yo, so remember I got your drink and I paid for your dinner and I did this, so y'all all owe me. It's never that. Never. It was all, yo, have fun. You'll get fucked up, but make sure you in on time tomorrow at 9 a.m. because I'll be there at 8:30 and I'm drinking more than you. So make sure you on time, all right? You can't handle it at home now because I still expect to see you at 9. That was the most I ever did, but that's it, man. Like, that's it. Money's not an influence to me. Money is just an abundable, a renewable resource. You give with no expectation of receiving. The only thing that motivates me is success and more of it.
How do you feel about politics?
I don't talk about politics or religion.
Okay.
Especially in public.
That's a good tactic, yeah. That's a good tactic, but I like that. You know what I mean? What is your definition of happiness?
Right here, right now. Shit, like, I'm smiling, my teeth look good, like my teeth is like nice and white. Like, look at that, right? Like this is happiness. Like, on here, talking with you, dropping knowledge back and forth. You know what I'm saying? People are listening in, like getting advice. Like, how could you ask for more? I'm gonna get off of this. I'm gonna reminisce. I'm gonna smoke a hookah. And I'm gonna go to sleep and start my day all over again. Like, this is happiness. Like, happiness to me is doing what you want, when you want, whenever you want, however you want. You get what I'm saying? And I get to do that. Like, I don't have to go to work. I get to go to work. I don't have to do a podcast. I get to do a podcast. I don't have to do this live. I get to do this live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to trade. I get to trade. The only thing I have to do is die. That's all that's accounted for. That's the only thing that's guaranteed is I have to die one day. When we were born on this earth, we knew we were dying.
Bro said the only thing I have to do.
The only thing I have to do is die. Nothing else I have to do. I just get to do it. I know it sounds funny, but think about it, like, you don't have to go to the bathroom. You can shit on yourself. You choose to go. You get me? So that's the only thing I have to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Ooh, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've thought about that so many times, from business decisions to relationships to, man. And I can honestly say, nothing. Not a damn thing I would change about anything in my life, because everything had to happen the way it happened to be who I am today. So there's not one thing I would change.
I like that, man.
No regrets.
What do you think has stayed the same about you throughout life?
Me. Once I was able to be me and break out of that introverted shell, me always stayed the same. Very direct, very straightforward, bit of an asshole, funny, caring, spontaneous. Me.
What's your sign, James?
I'm a Pisces.
Okay. How you handle?
But I'm not the crybaby fish.
I'm not the crybaby fish.
No, I'm the other fish. That's a good one. How do I handle frustration? So, I believe pressure bursts pipes or makes diamonds. So enough pressure is applied, you're either going to show up to be a leaky faucet or a beautiful stone. And I choose to be the stone every time. So that's how I handle frustration.
What is your typical day like now, and how was it different back then?
Back when? That's very let's hone in on a specific time. So I have a versus.
Okay, let's say like since 2020.
Oh man, well 2020. I mean, Jesus. All right, I got you. My birthday is March 11th, right? On March 10th, 2020, my grandmother passed away. Nice, right? Don't worry, she was 98. She lived her life to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? She got to see segregation, Martin Luther King, everything. So no need to feel bad about that, right? Remember, the only thing we have to do is die. So March 11th is my birthday. I go to Atlanta for a funeral. I come back to New York, and then we are shut down in quarantine. So my life in quarantine was wake up, look around, walk my dog, figure out how long I'm going to live off my savings before I go broke, because I didn't know about the pandemic paying out any money or unemployment, because remember, I'm a real estate broker. I don't pay taxes every paycheck. I pay my taxes once a year. You know, then we're told, like, oh, you have this come, like, bet, now I won't die. And it stayed that way from March until August. No, like, yeah, August, July. Stayed away till like July, yeah. And then I met Joey at Mordiel's cookout in Jersey, and he's like, it was a Saturday. He's like, yo, come to Miami with me tomorrow. I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta work Monday. He's like, so fly back. Like, you know, that's not a bad idea. I guess I will. I was like, wait, but I'm supposed to be going out with somebody. Bring them too. And I was like, you're right. So I bring this girl with me to Miami literally for one day. And I was like, this is fun. And I never really lived that way, but I'm spontaneous. So I'm like, hey, tomorrow I know we're supposed to hang out. Let's go to Miami. She's like, when we come back? I'm like, Monday. Don't you got to work? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, so Monday. And you sure? I'm like, yeah, what's your birthday? So I can buy this ticket. I'm probably like my second time hanging out with this person. So it's very spontaneous and very, very stupid. I do not recommend you do it. but it was fun as shit. So actually, I do recommend you do it. It's very, very fun. You should definitely do it, right? So go to Miami, come back. Then a week later, I was in Mexico with them, with like everybody for Tia's birthday. Then got back. Then like a day later, went back to Miami for Lou's surprise birthday. Then stayed in Miami for like a week. Then thought I was coming back, but ended up going to Vegas. Stayed in Vegas and came back. Then finally came back to New York, and I was like, man, that was crazy. But I learned absolutely nothing about trading the entire time. I have to be honest with you. No matter who you hang out with, I promise you, my great friends do not give you any slick interests. Got back, tried to go back into real estate. I was like, nah, I'd rather do this thing. You know, I was once guilty of this whole want to live my life on Instagram. I don't want to do this. Listen, we're all guilty, right? Money was still coming in, but I also must admit this. I had leverage in my real estate business because I had agents that worked for me on my accounts. So whether I was there or not, when they closed bills on my accounts, I got paid. So I didn't necessarily have to physically be there to get paid. And I want to make that very clear to people because that's what it's about, creating passive income and creating systems, is that my systems was put in place and built so that even if I didn't show up, money would come in. But if I showed up, there was more money coming in, right? So when that happened, literally, that just stopped happening. Like, I think I was making money all 2021, and I never stepped foot in the real estate office the entire year through real estate. So make that very clear to people, right? And then my life was just kind of spontaneous all over the place from 2020, 2021. Very spontaneous all over the place. Sometimes I go to sleep at 4 a.m. Sometimes I go to sleep at 10 a.m. Sometimes I go to sleep at 2 p.m. Sometimes I go to sleep 10 o'clock the next night. Very spontaneous, very out of order. All I gained in that was a lot more patience. But with all the patience I gained, because I had no patience at all, I slacked crazy in discipline. As a result, from that July 2020 to January 2022, I gained 60 pounds, 60. Now 2022, I was like, oh, hell no, you big as fuck. You can't do this. This is not life. No. I immediately started fasting. I did a fast that required me to have no fried food, no dairy, no eggs, no pork, literally no meats, no processed food, no dairy, nothing but water, no alcohol, and I also added no sex or masturbation in there, and I added that myself.
That was
and
strong.
all I could eat was vegetables and fruit. And this was supposed to be for 21 days. I did it for 29 days. I dropped 20 pounds in the month of January. My goal is to lose 50 before the end of March. So that was the first thing I did to get my discipline back in order. Now, you know, back to using the 10 hours in my day that I don't have anything to do with, using that to make more money, finding more investments to get involved in, finding more ways of creating money in a passive manner that doesn't require my attention at all, or very little of my attention, whether it be restaurants or ATM machines or trucking or cannabis farms or whatever you want to think about. You want to see a checkers business, I'll figure out how to open that too. And I mean like the game checkers, not the food checkers. I don't like fast food. So now my life is very structured. You know, I still go to sleep probably like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm up 6:30 every morning. My goal is to get to 5 a.m. My life is very structured. I'm usually in my office by 8:30 so I can get the opening bell by 9:30. Very, very structured life. And it's the best way to have it. The most spontaneous thing about my life, which isn't spontaneous, is my weekends because I know I'm going out. But how spontaneous is it if I know I'm going out?
Yo,
Which is where I'm going, I don't know. But I know I'm going to go.
Yo. Who are 3 people in history you admire most?
History?
Could be basketball player. You know, most people say Jordan or something like that. 3 people.
Nah. Give me a second. I really got to think about this one. This is a good one. Is there another question you can ask while I think about this one? This is a good one, but it's going to take me a long time to think on this one.
We can go back to that. That's 3 people you admire most in history. We can go back to it.
Yeah, because if you let me think, I'm going to save like 5 minutes of silence. So let me think while you do that.
All right. What would you like your family and the generation under to remember you by? Or for?
Man, you really picked some 2 good ones. All right, bet. So
let's go. We came with the vibe.
By family, you mean offspring, or you mean like your mom, your dad, and stuff like that?
Legacy.
Okay, so for my daughter, remember me by the fact that I always wanted to show you that there's a different way of making it in this world besides going to school, get grades, and getting a good job. I don't have anything against the job class, as you guys know, but as the only entrepreneur in her family, I want her to see that there's more out there to life than just, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that. Like, those are great, and I think you should go for it. But if you know you as a person, you know your child shares a lot of you, you probably have an idea of the probability of that happening. And I don't push my kid to do anything. My daughter could tell me she wants to be a dancer, I would support it. I'd be like, yo, but this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, gotta deal with this could happen. That's cool. That's your life, live it. That's what I tell her. She told me the other day she wanted to do something. I'm like, yo, I really don't give a damn. I don't gotta live your life. You do. That means you have to live with your choices and your decisions and the consequences that come along with it. So I want her to remember that and pass that down. She ignores me or she avoids every time I bring up business things and business math because I question her the way I think CEOs would question their children. Like, I don't want her to think about allowance. Like, she asked me for an allowance, and I was like, what is that? And I knew what it was. I'm not stupid. But I was like, what is that? She's like, you pay me money for doing things. I'm like, what? She's like, washing dishes, sweeping, mopping. I'm like, so you want me to pay you money for the things that you were going to do regardless once you were here? And she's like, what? I'm like, what do you think we had you for? Because I wanted the child. You're free labor. I'm joking, right? But it's funny. I know. But I was like, you know what? Here's what I do. Like, here's what I'll do. I will pay you $10 for every book you read that I pick and you write a book report on. Here's the catch. Unlike this allowance thing you want that I was paying you $10 a week, I pay you $10 every time you do it, which means you can do it twice a day, once a day, twice a year, or never. But that's the only way you're going to make your $10 is by completing the task. So subconsciously, what am I teaching her? To get paid for things completed and not paid for time spending. Right? Yeah. And she did it for a while, and she stopped, and she's like, give me money. I'm like, go read a book. Swear to God. That's all I tell her. So I want this. Read a book. I want that. Read a book. Right? And I don't even care about the book reading part. It's the mindset I want to be developed. She's 11 years old. It doesn't mean nothing to her today, but I know in time, when, you ever look back at things your parents taught you, like, damn, I remember when they told me this, and now I got older and a little bit more mature, like, yeah, I see it. I'm like, yo, I appreciate you. You always knew you was going to hate saying that shit, but you're like, all right, you got it. You win. You right. So that's that for her. And same thing for, I don't have any grandkids, so I can't say for the future legacy, but listen, whether I became a multi-billionaire, I don't want any, like, it's because of him I'm here. That's stupid. Like, I'm more like Shaq, like, I'm rich, not you. So you gotta go out there and get it yourself the same way I went out there and got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be left with something. But just know, I put you this way: if I made $1 billion, and they're like, well, how much you leaving your kids? They getting 10 million each, not 100 million, 10. And 10 million is more than enough of a head start. But trust with the other 980, if I don't spend it before I die, it's going to good causes everywhere. But I'm going to try my hardest to spend it before I die. Because ain't no way in hell I worked that hard to not enjoy it.
Bro. That's beast mode. That's beast mode. Because you basically saying, I had to learn a lot of this stuff too. And I think I read that too in a book. It said you handicapping the child by actually leaving them an inheritance. An inheritance that's like, where they ain't got to work no more. It's like,
you
exactly. Want the child to go out there and learn life the same way you learn life.
And then I got you. So 3 people in history, I got you. Number 1, my grandfather on my mom's side. Why him? He had a barely middle school education. He went and built a business cleaning houses. He turned it from cleaning houses to cleaning commercial spaces. Turned it into 4 or 5 trucks. Sold the business at 65 when he retired for multiple millions of dollars. His family has a street named after their last name, or my family has a street named after that last name, that goes probably about 30, 40 acres till this day, still in Georgia. So that's someone I would say it was a big influence because whether I knew it or not, he played a huge influence on the way I thought from a standpoint of entrepreneurship. And I didn't even realize it because, you know, by the time I got older, his diabetes was getting to him, so his kidneys were starting to shut down. So he was doing a lot of dialysis, so he wasn't as mobile. But from the younger days before he sold his business, I would go to work with him. You know, he was like, "You do this, I'll give you this. You do this, I give you this." And I don't realize what he's doing. I just want as many dollars as I could get. So he's one. The other one is my other uncle, Buddy. He's on my dad's side. Same thing with him. He's a basketball coach. Him and my grandmother I have to put together because they come as a package. My grandmother, that was her oldest nephew. She was the first black teacher in Macon, Georgia. She put him through college and all her nieces and nephews through college before she had kids. One. He took that thing and he kept doing it all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Created scholarship funds through our family reunion, everything you could think of, right? And that's why my grandmother and him together. And then I have to say my mom and my dad. And the reason is they allowed me to be independent. They didn't try to shelter me. They didn't try to stop me from being rebellious. And I was very rebellious as a child. I mean, I got a lot of spankings and whoopings because very rebellious. You know, I was a kid that you tell me something, I'm going to talk back. And I'm not going to stop talking until I'm getting everything I got to say. And if you know me, you know that's 100% me. I don't give a damn what you say. Until I'm getting my point, until I got my point across, I'm going to keep going, right? So they pretty much didn't support it, but they knew they had no choice but to allow me to be me. And, you know, my mom was the first person that really got me into my entrepreneurship without even wanting to. She fired the lady that cut our grass. I grew up in the suburbs. Let me put this out there now. I grew up in the suburbs. Didn't have a golden spoon in my mouth or a silver. I mean, I guess it was pretty silver. It was in the suburbs, right? We had a lady cutting our grass. So what am I going to say, right? So anyway, she fired this person cutting our grass. She goes and buys a lawnmower. I'm like maybe 13 years old. I'm like, well, who's that for? She's like, you. I'm like, for what? You asked so-and-so. Nah, you old enough. You need to do it. So I started doing it. And I hated every second of it. Oh, my God, every second of it. Every second of it, I hated it. And then I got this bright idea that I'm going to do the neighbors too. And they'll pay. At least they'll pay me. So I started doing the neighbors, and I did the other neighbors, and I did a lot of neighbors. Then I started to rent it out to other people so they could cut grass and make money on it. And then I'll never forget, I hired the lady back to cut our grass because I hated it that much. And she's like, how you get here? It's like, I thought you told me to come back. I'm like, oh, don't worry, it's on me. I got it.
Oh.
So
Bro done got tired of doing it himself and rehired the lady off your own efforts, bro.
And that was when my mother realized I was not meant for physical labor. That wasn't gonna work for me. No. I use this more than I'm gonna use these. Trust me on that. So those would be the people I look up to.
What things do you find yourself doing that you said you never do?
I had McDonald's today. I said I would never do that. Maybe that's one of them. I don't know. There's very few things I do that I'm not supposed to. I say I'm not gonna do. So McDonald's. You got me on McDonald's. There it is. He caught me. And it's only because they had that land and sea thing. I wanted to try it. I thought they built it for you, but they don't. It's complete trash. And I literally looked at it and I was like, God, this is such a waste. I ate the fries and threw everything else away. So.
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
The same thing you see here right now. What are you talking about? The dimples, great smile, chinky ass eyes, fire ass hairline, like the same thing you see. Perfection.
In detail, bro. In detail. Break it down if you can explain. Like not just the looks, you know what I mean, but something that you can help.
It's my exterior. How I feel on the inside ain't got shit to do with what I see out here. If my hair is jacked up, trust me, I ain't feeling this way right now.
Yo, listen, man. This is by far the funniest interview I did so far, bro. I ain't laughed so much in the whole interview.
No, but I'm dead ass. So like, this is what I see.
Yo, champs, yo. I appreciate you. You crazy though, bro, but I appreciate you.
I'm honest.
If a genie gave you 3 wishes, what would they be?
If a genie gave me 3 wishes, what would they be? More happiness, more love. More happiness, more love, more abundance.
Fire, bro.
Yeah, I don't wish to live longer than I'm supposed to. I don't wish to have more money than I'm supposed to have. So more happiness, more love, and more abundance.
Mm. Deep, deep. All right, this is the 5 for 5, right? We usually do 5 for 5. You know how Wendy's got 4 for 4. So it's 5 for 5. You answer 5 questions, 5 answers.
Okay.
So we're gonna tap right into them. Your top 5 beverages.
Water, sparkling water with lime, sparkling water with black cherry, and sparkling water pomegranate. Oh
Let's
shit!
go.
Take one back. Take one back. Tequila. There we go.
Tequila.
Number 1. Tequila.
Let's
Take
go.
it back. Don Julio specifically. All right.
Gotta put that to kids in there, man.
Yeah.
Top 5 foods.
Pizza, nachos, tacos. Shit, that was my top 3 right there, man. I don't even got 5, but pizza, taco, nachos. See, I had to think about number 2, number 4, and 5. Pizza, nachos, tacos. But I'm telling you, this is it. Burritos. I love Mexican food and pizza.
Yo, bro, you crazy, bro. Top 5 sneakers.
I like Nike. Air Max 1s, Uptowns, retros. I guess that's 3 Jordans. Oh, let me be specific with retros. 7s, 6s, 11s. There we go. Air Max 1s, Uptown, 7, 6, 11s.
That was quick, too. Top 5 teams.
Oh, this is super easy. The Hawks, the Falcons, the Braves, their soccer team, the United, and then whatever 5th team you want to put there. I don't know. The Steelers. There we go.
The Steelers. Top 5
Oh,
songs.
shit. No, UJ Bulldogs, football. Top 5 songs. Man, music's always changing. You know what? Yes, indeed, Lil Baby, and Drake. Life Goes On, Lil Baby, and Gunna. On Me, Lil Baby. Clearly, you don't have to ask who my top 5 artists are. It's all going to be Lil Baby. Whoa. And Lil Wayne and Millie.
That's my shit. Let's go, bro. Big champs, man. Listen, man. I appreciate you, bro. For real, man.
Appreciate you.
Like, just meeting. You know, I seen y'all at the events, but you know, y'all moving around. Y'all gotta make sure the event is good, and y'all the big guys. So I wouldn't, you know, I know it's a lot of heavy is the crown that, you know, that's on the head. Not saying that y'all was any way bougie or nothing. Y'all always reach out to people. Y'all always say what's up, but you probably didn't have the time, you know, as you had today. I appreciate you
I
for
was
real.
scared. I thought I was gonna make this, man. 8:50. I was like, shit. So I had my alarm set for 8:50 because I was moving that much. But honestly, like, I'm a real person, and you know, like, I love it. I love doing what I can to be with people. It's not about titles or the ranks or the money. Like, I get it. That's why people get involved in this. But again, money's never excited me. You know, it wasn't like, oh, chairman was the dream. It was like, I want to learn to trade. Obviously, to make money, but it was never the idea of like, well, I make millions, I'm out this shit. Fuck this. Like, it was never about that. You know what I'm saying? Never about that. It was, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Literally. You get what I'm saying? And it created all these great friendships and all these great relationships. And again, your network is your net worth. So it's like, why would you stop having it? You know, so that's that. And I want that to continue to grow. And, you know, I'm also like blind. I look people in the eyes and they think I'm looking at them, but I'm zoned out thinking because I got ADD. So next time you see me and you think I'm staring at you and you're like, damn, why he won't speak? I promise you I'm thinking about something that ain't got nothing to do with you. You just happen to be in that direction and I still don't see you because my eyes is looking this way, but they really up here in my brain thinking about whatever it was we thinking about. It could have been, do I want pepperoni pizza or cheese? I don't even like pepperoni. So then chicken with bacon or chicken alone. Like, it could have been anything you want. What I'm going to eat tonight? Where are we going? Shit, I really could use a hookah right now. Like, so if you see that happening, just come talk to me. I promise I'll be like, hold on, I'm thinking. Won't happen. I promise you that. And I always will talk to people. I love to engage with people. I love meeting people. In fact, I'm doing another live like this tomorrow, you know, because people ask. Like, I want to do as much as I can to be a resource to people, whether I personally know you or not, honestly. If you reach out and we could make it work, you know, we had to make this one work. But it worked out, and I enjoyed it. Shit, I had a lot of laughs. I'm literally about to light a hookah up and enjoy the rest of my night and reminisce on this. Like, this shit is dope. So
Yes.
anything you know what I'm saying? Like, Matt always says it, you know, never get too big for the little things because then you'll be too little for the big things. And I feel like everything in life, business is always the same thing repeated, right? Like, the hit Chairman 750 is just becoming a P150 a bunch of times over. You know, Steve Harvey said it best, and I think we'll end it on this if you want to. Steve Harvey said, find the one thing you know how to do that can make you $100. He said, then sharpen up a bit and use it until it makes you 1,000. Then sharpen up a bit more until it gets you to 10,000. Then a bit more until it gets you to 100,000. And at 100,000, now you're gonna hire somebody. So you don't have to do all the extra stuff that you had to do up to this point. You get to just focus on the thing that you know you can do the best and scale it from 100,000 to 1,000,000. And that's how it is, easy it is to make $1 million. And then he goes, like my jokes. I sold my first joke for $10. Now he's worth $200 million. So that's how I think about this. Like, if you're not constantly talking to people, reaching out to people, how can you expect your name to go anywhere? I don't want my name to be the biggest name in network marketing or the biggest name here or that guy, the champs, that chairman. Like, no, I want my name to be good no matter where I go. And more people know me by champs than they will ever know me by my government, which I still haven't given out today. It's Brian, you can have it. Right? But more people would know me like that because then I know that what I'm doing is working.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mental health awareness is working. Having these conversations with people that want to know what it's like to go through entrepreneurship or how to be a real entrepreneur, not the one that quits their job just to make $1,000 a month, but a struggling entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur. What it's like to be an entrepreneur and still work a job and still create other sources of income, right? Like, I want that awareness out there because I don't want people doing this shit ignorantly. I don't want to see people failing at this because they were too busy trying to impress the internet, whether they were trying to build the funds they need to build for their families, for themselves, to get their mother's houses. Like, don't hustle backwards for the title. You can always print cards and just put entrepreneur on there. Whether you want it or not, it doesn't matter. Mr. Press still take your money the same way. You can do that before you have to ruin your life. So I want that. I want that awareness out there. I want people to know that.
Yes.
So I will always be available to have these conversations for everybody. And I appreciate you for allowing me to do that with you all today.
Man, like I told you on the call, man, it's always better with love in the world, bro. You know what I mean? And
always.
Everybody follow Champs. Everybody that was on the live, I need y'all to it's in Champs We Trust. Let me write it down. In Champs and follow his podcast too, because I will be following, bro. What you dropped, the jewels that you dropped was amazing, bro, that I seen so far.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The podcast is each and every Friday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. It's not 4 hours of talking. It's an actual live show, live DJs, everything, and it's talking segments. So it's 4 hours. It's literally called the pregame show for that reason. Start drinking, start hanging out with your friends, get ready to go out that night. That's the whole purpose on the podcast. So that's the podcast. Highlight Music Group, the pregame show. Download the app, Highlight Music Group, each and every Friday, 7 to 11.
Oh, man, bro, listen, man. Let's go. I just want to grow alongside to just be able to, you know what I mean? Little here and there. We definitely want you back on the show, bro.
Anytime. As long as we can do the same thing we did today, figure out the time that works, I'm with it. I'm with it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you so much again. I'm about to make this hookah now. Y'all have a good one.
Have a phenomenal night, bro.
You too.
Thank you.